Rated T for teen.
In this game, there is no luck. Luck is for losers. It's unlike any place in the world. It's not even a place. It's a destination. WrestleMania, 42 years, over 400 matches. And now, history is what you make of it. WWE 2K26. The show never stops.
Brock Lesnar, it appears, retires from pro wrestling. Rhea Ripley is champion once again, an all-time classic ladder match. Trick Williams joins the show after winning the United States Championship. And Roman Reigns and all of professional wrestling is so back. This is night 2 of the WrestleMania recap on WWE Now, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Fresh off of the floor of Allegiant Stadium.
Hoarse voice and all.
Not me.
Yes, you.
No, that would be unprofessional. Here in Las Vegas, I can believe it, but I can't believe that we're in this moment. In this moment, and I don't know what the future holds. I'm not Miss Cleo. I don't have a crystal ball. But I know how I feel right now. And right now, I have this feeling of we are back because Roman Reigns just closed WrestleMania holding the World Heavyweight Championship above his head. Roman is champion again. The difference is this time, all excuses are done. Nobody can say anything about our tribal chief. Roman Reigns had, not in my opinion, factually, the most impressive title reign of the modern era.
That is true.
Thank you. 3.5 years as champion. And what's the one thing they owe?
He can't do it by himself.
That's what they said.
He can't do it by himself. But tonight, in his 11th main event at WrestleMania, he walked out as World Heavyweight Champion. And who did he walk out with?
Nobody. He walked out by himself, and he walked from the ring by himself.
And he
hugging
entered
his
by
family.
himself.
And he entered by himself, hugging his family at ringside on the way out. And not the Usos, not Jacob, not anybody. The people that live in his house with him. That's who it was always for, and that's what it was always about. CM Punk challenged Roman Reigns to do this on his own. And in doing that, solidified the end of his World Heavyweight title reign at WrestleMania.
And Roman Reigns walks out with the very World Heavyweight Championship that was created.
Tell me why, Megan. Why was it created?
In WWE because Roman had held the other 2 championships.
And they couldn't take him off him.
No.
He was unbeatable. Though this title reign of Roman Reigns was so successful that they combined titles.
That's right.
He won them both.
They made it undisputed.
And then they couldn't take it off of him. So they had to make a new one. And now Roman Reigns, took him a couple years, but he's decided, okay, it's time.
I'm taking that one too.
I'm taking that one. Now that one's mine. And I would like to make a bold prediction that should Roman Reigns really have a title reign, should he hold on to that title for any sort of considerable amount of time, Roman Reigns is going to go down as the most significant World Heavyweight Champion to hold that version of the World Heavyweight title, because that's what Roman Reigns does. You can't deny, Megan, over the last 2 days, and this is no shade to anybody. This is not about anybody's shortcoming, because I saw moment after moment after moment this weekend. This roster is stacked. The last 2 nights have had incredible match after incredible match with incredible superstar after incredible superstar winning them. But when CM Punk and Roman Reigns were in that ring together, it was completely different. It really was. It makes for a good t-shirt. It makes for a good catchphrase, but greatness on a different level. is undeniable, especially now.
I mean, he
when, to your
personifies it.
point, you look at Roman Reigns and he's by himself.
Yes. And it's crazy that you say if he has a title reign with this version of the World Heavyweight Championship, that he could be the greatest or would be the greatest.
Not could.
Would be. And you're talking about Gunther, who held that title, who
Yep.
retired John Cena,
Yep.
who retired AJ
I'm
Styles,
talking about all of them.
and who retired Bill Goldberg.
Gunther.
Seth Rollins.
Seth. Punk. It's Roman Reigns.
Jey Uso.
Jay. I love all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just listed a list of my favorite wrestlers. I'm still saying what I said about Roman Reigns. It's different when Roman Reigns has the title. Whether you like him or not, it's not a deniable thing. It is different when that guy is on top of the company, when that guy holds the title. I mean, Megan, we were talking in the audience tonight.
Was this before or after you were telling security guards that they had to put their ones up?
That's probably in the mix. I
Okay.
spent a little bit of time telling security.
Heckling people, demanding that they acknowledge the tribal chief.
There were WWE executives that I shouted at to put their ones up.
is true.
We're at WrestleMania. If you're going to be in the bowl, if you're going to be on the floor, I'm not going to go to the office and yell at you, in your office to get your one up. I want to, but I'm not going to do it because that'd be disrespectful. But on the floor belongs to the fans. Get your ones up.
Participation is encouraged.
Not only encouraged. In that scenario, demanded.
Required.
Required. Yes, required. But I looked at you because first, Roman Reigns enters first.
Which felt weird to have Roman Reigns enter first in the main event.
Of course
He's
it
been
feels
in
weird.
11 of them. How
Yes.
many has he entered first in?
The earlier ones, but not the later ones. I mean, I was ecstatic to hear Roman Reigns' old music back, the aura music.
And how about the guy
Back.
on the piano?
I mean, the piano
drummer.
and the drum and the everything.
And then we have the Wild Samoans appearing.
Yeah, on the screens, these legends. I mean, and Jacob was talking about him just last night.
I was thinking
because
about
it's not, again, it's not about putting it on a T-shirt or putting out a box set of action figures. It's true.
This is real life.
When you look at those screens and you see Afa and you see Sika and you see Peter Maivia and you see Yokozuna and you see Umaga and you see Rosie and you see all these people who came before.
And you think about the impact they had not only on the business, but on the family.
And the impact that family has had and continues to have on this business. The one of the first big moments of WrestleMania this year was Jacob Fatu beating Drew McIntyre, and the final big moment of WrestleMania this year is his cousin Roman Reigns winning the World Heavyweight title. But Roman comes out, and has his OG aura music, and that's when it was like, okay, he's back. CM Punk comes out, and his indie music is playing, AFI. Anybody that's been on that CM Punk journey felt that. I've been on that CM Punk journey. Make no mistake about it, I've loved CM Punk for a long time. I mean, I saw him at shows when he was using the music that played in the stadium tonight. And seeing that get recognized and seeing that journey be told was incredible. And then Punk coming out to Silence, love that move.
And the entire stadium yelling, "It's clobbering time."
50K, all yelling, "It's clobbering time." And then boom, Cult of Personality plays. And this is not to take anything away. It's not like you could have put Roman Reigns in there with anybody. CM Punk commands a different kind of attention.
Of course. I mean, it was crazy when Roman's entrance plays. We all have our ones up. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm
And
ready.
if you don't, you're getting yelled at.
Yeah, that's for sure. By you.
Yes.
You're the acknowledging police.
I police acknowledgement.
But have the ones up. I'm thinking, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to be back. CM Punk's indie music plays. The entire stadium, 50K, yells, "It's clobbering time." We're singing Cult of Personality at the top of our lungs. And I go, oh, I'm kind of torn.
And that's the beauty of it, right?
And
Isn't
so
that what-
many fans felt that way.
Yes.
Because this is the ride that they've taken us on since Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble.
Well, because the reality of the bigger picture is that, yes, it's been 2 years. You want to feel that feeling again. You want to know what it would be like if Roman Reigns was back on top 2 years later. This is a different Roman Reigns, what that would be like. But at the same time, CM Punk's journey is a lot longer than 2 years.
It is.
The idea of CM Punk being that world heavyweight champion, because if CM Punk had beaten Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, then we'd be having a different conversation about the fact that now you can't say anything to the tribal chief because he could do it with his family, he could do it on his own, he could do it on a plane, he could do it by a train, he could do it however you want it done. He could do it on Trick Williams' train. It doesn't matter.
200-pound train.
That's right. But if Punk had beaten Roman Reigns, we'd be saying, well, he's beaten the greatest.
Yes.
Who can possibly say they can beat CM Punk? And that's the conversation that people want to have. CM Punk was gone for 10 years. CM Punk was the guy that was never supposed to be in the position that he's in. So the idea that we're torn, yeah, because we're watching this journey happen.
And Roman was the one who was put in the position, and people didn't want him to be.
He wasn't put in this position. He was put in a different position. And then he came back and took this one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people loved. But you're right. You're right. And so to see that journey play out. But when I was taken aback, right, was when the incredible Alicia Taylor says, "The challenger." And I went, what?
Wow.
Because I realized that might be, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because we're going on feelings right now. That might be the first time in a decade, this might be the first time this decade, I should say, in a championship match, I guess save for 2020. It might be the first time since the beginning of September in 2020 that Roman Reigns was announced as a challenger. Roman Reigns was announced in 2020, the week after SummerSlam. I remember if it was Payback or whatever PLE it was. He was announced as the challenger, and it was his first match back, and he snatched that title right up. And since that day, he's not been in a championship match, to my knowledge, that he's been announced as a challenger.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely
because you think about it.
correct.
I mean, it was he's had wars with the division with Bronson Reed. He's had tag matches. He had the triple threat last year at WrestleMania, but that wasn't a title match. Yeah. So now he's walking in here by himself, and he's the challenger, which is completely unfamiliar territory to him and completely unfamiliar territory to us. To me, when I'm looking at this guy going, I don't remember. I don't remember what this is. And I'm glad I don't have to think about it anymore. Because Roman Reigns, and it's going to be really interesting. Because, I mean, I like to see what the conversation is around what happens at WrestleMania. I like to see what people on Twitter are saying, the positive and the negative. And there are a lot of people going, does this mean we have a champion that's not going to be on television?
And those are the two critiques of Roman Reigns. One, he couldn't do it by himself, proven wrong. And two, he doesn't show up to work.
He can show up whenever. And by the way, that's not a critique. Do you show up to, let me ask you something. You show up to work on days you're not booked?
No.
Well, then that's not showing up to work.
The champion's got to be booked.
If you work Monday through Friday, and then the company comes to you and goes, there's over 100 days that you haven't been at work. And you go, those are Saturdays and Sundays. That's not when I don't work those days. I'm not showing up to work. Those are days that I don't work. So if you're a guy who has the value of Roman Reigns and can go, I'm going to say, I will accept your offer of payment for a much more limited schedule because that dollar amount equates to this number of dates. That's not showing up. That's not lazy. That's understanding.
In a way, it is the ultimate flex, right?
Of course
that he has this schedule. But I think there is a desire from the fans to see Roman Reigns on television often.
Which is why it's so expensive for companies to see Roman Reigns on television, because that desire is there. When was the last time you heard me do a radio show on a Friday? They call me the Roman Reigns of Sirius XM.
Is that what they call you?
Because that's the value of it.
Okay.
They say,
I
Sam,
hadn't heard that yet.
Could you work on a Friday? I go, you can't afford it. That's what I tell them.
Just ask Megan. She's available.
Megan's available. Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I say. But who knows? Who knows what this looks like? Like I said, this is a version of Roman Reigns that since he lost the title at WrestleMania 40 to Cody Rhodes, he hasn't been back in this position. He hasn't been full throttle going after the championship.
Is there a part of you, though, as excited as you are right now,
Yes.
that we are back, that Roman Reigns is back? You're one up in the sky. Your voice is hoarse.
No, it isn't.
I mean, you've been thinking about this moment since Roman lost the championship. When I was standing with you at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, you, me, and Lars from
what?
Rancid.
That's right.
You said I wasn't ready for it to end, and you've thought about that day every single day since it ended, and you wished for those days back. Is there a part of you that's nervous that Roman will just disappear for a while again?
No, I'm not the type. I'm not a be careful what you wish for guy. I wish for the things that I want, and if I get them, if I'm lucky enough to get them, I celebrate. That's the way life should be lived. I'm not placed on this planet to have my yum yucked.
I'm ready for Roman Reigns storytelling again. I'm ready for it.
I mean,
I want to see that.
it brought us here.
Of course.
And by the time CM Punk and Roman Reigns got in the ring, and CM Punk to the same credit in terms of telling a story, but by the time we got in the ring, I mean, you could feel it. I feel like the phrase, big match feel has been a little bit overused, but it doesn't mean it's not true. And seeing this match go down from the point of the entrances, whether you're somebody who's like barely started watching wrestling, I was interacting with people who barely started watching wrestling this year, or who have really dived headfirst in the last few years, or you've been watching for decades. You all feel the same thing.
Of course.
And that's what happens when you have this incredible, undeniable story. It makes you care. You cared. Even if you were torn, you cared
Yes.
about who won. And I mean, like,
I'm not going to lie to you. There is a part of me that is feeling a little bit of what I just presented to you. I am feeling a little bit nervous because last year we see Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We see Roman Reigns the night after WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania. And then we didn't see Roman Reigns again until a couple weeks before SummerSlam. I don't want that. The way I feel right now, I want to see Roman Reigns. Maybe it doesn't have to be every week.
listen,
But I need Roman Reigns storytelling. I need that World Heavyweight Championship to be shared.
I would love to see Roman Reigns work Raw, NXT, and SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. All the PLEs too, and also the NXT PLEs. Because I watch it all.
And Evolve. Don't forget Evolve.
I would love if Roman was popping in on the Evolve tapings.
Yeah,
I
why
think
not?
it would all be incredible. I'm with you. You want more. There's never a point where you go, that's enough. But I'm ready for what I'm going to get.
Okay.
And that's the way I felt about Roman for a long time. At the end of his title reign, those defenses started to slow down. That schedule started to slow down. But look, we're going to talk about Brock Lesnar in a little bit. Brock Lesnar was a guy who was champion, and he wasn't on TV all that often. And people hated it. But they bought a ticket to see him. They tuned in when he was on TV. They wanted somebody to beat him. They were invested in Brock Lesnar. I don't know what Roman Reigns' schedule is going to look like. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm watching this unfold. We're
Yes.
here now, though. And I think that you can trace this back to Roman Reigns going on Pat McAfee's show in the build-up to the Royal Rumble and making some comments that were super controversial,
Yeah.
that were all over the internet, and that nobody could tell, what is this? Is he shooting from the hip? Or is it like, what's going on here?
Telling people to get over.
Yes, and saying, I've given you 2 years.
Get over.
Nobody's done anything. Nobody's done anything. And I think that was something that Roman revisited a little bit on this road to WrestleMania. And even in like the YouTube interviews, I saw he was doing an interview on this YouTube channel with one of the, like, it was about watches. It's one of the YouTube guys who does like great watch videos, and Roman Reigns was doing an interview on it. And he was talking about the fact that he still has work to do. And he has said that in other interviews, that he still has work to do. I'm not concerned about a guy's schedule. I'm concerned about a guy's motivation.
Okay.
I'm concerned about what somebody who has that title feels that they need to do as champion. It's something you hear Cody Rhodes talk about all the time, and it's something that Roman Reigns was very vocal about going into this.
Hey, I heard that we're still in the third inning. So
We're
if that's the case,
permanently. We're never leaving the third inning because it's the best inning there is. Now, we talked about Brock Lesnar and the fact that there are parallels. This is, by the way, one of Roman Reigns' great rivals. Brock Lesnar opens tonight in a match that really, when you asked fans, was one of, if not the most anticipated matches of the night. Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. And it was really interesting because as much as emotionally we all wanted Obafemi to win, there were a lot of fans that were like, no, I think Brock's going to win.
Of course, because that's what Brock Lesnar has the ability to do time and time again. What do we want? X. Oh, wait.
Brock's here
Lesnar's
to
Y.
take it away. Yes, 100%. And maybe they felt that they wanted to see it. Maybe they felt it was inevitable, so they didn't want to get their hopes up.
I think back to WrestlePalooza. Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
And Brock just squashing him. Yes, yeah. But I think that I think that the reality is that Obafemi is just different. When those guys stepped in the ring and Oba got that first WrestleMania entrance, and it lived up to every expectation. And for me, like, it was such a fun match to watch because it starts with that collar and elbow, and just the two of them going back and forth with it, back and forth,
You
trying
go,
to
oh,
push
they
each
can't
other
move each other
out of the way. No. And then seeing it get to the point where Brock Lesnar was clearly hitting Obafemi with every bit of strength that he had in a very real life way. And Oba responds by not backing down and hitting Brock Lesnar back.
I mean, typically in those situations, Brock's able to take someone to Suplex City. Not
Yeah.
Oba.
Well, I think he might have gotten one suplex in, maybe two, but like, he wasn't able to dominate in any way, shape, or form. I think that Brock was looking for a victory against Obafemi, the way we're all kind of looking for victories sometimes, big or small. And we've talked about that before. We talked about it, the other day, doing Raw recap when we were talking about, the trade-offs that you make, the sleep you give on.
Oh, yeah.
The social awkwardness you enjoy, the grind you push through to get all those small victories. Is that right?
Yeah, but tonight the stakes they're on a different level.
I guess they're not small.
We are at WrestleMania, Sam, and the trade-offs aren't just about laundry or meetings; they're about legacy. On the grandest stage of them all, every superstar has to decide what they're willing to sacrifice to bring the juice and walk out champion.
I mean, you look at Obafemi. He traded, the idea that he could just have an easy opponent, an easy night at work, and instead he stepped into the ring with the beast Brock Lesnar. Obafemi knew the trade-off. He was risking it all. He knew that, yes, it was going to be one of the biggest matches at WrestleMania, but a loss to Brock Lesnar would destroy everything. But guess what? Obafemi did not let that scare him. He showed up with that Obafemi energy, and he won the match, and that is a win that is worth cheering for.
Exactly. And you think about CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We were just talking about them, Sam, trading years of history and physical toll for one more shot at the top of the mountain. Whether it's a superstar in the ring or you navigating a chaotic Monday morning, Minute Maid and WWE are the ultimate tag team partners.
Oh, you better believe they are, and we celebrate all those choices. That's something we do here. We celebrate the trade-off. And most importantly, we celebrate the boost of positivity that keeps you in the fight.
So as you head into the post-WrestleMania season, remember, when life tries to put you into a submission hold, don't tap out. Never tap out on taste. Bring the juice.
Just part of this breakdown of this amazing Brock Lesnar-Obafemi match. Because then, after all that we just said, we get to this place where Oba nails the powerbomb. And Brock, throughout this match, man, I mean, Brock had to, he thought he had it all covered at one point. He has to pull out the stairs. He has to do this. Every trick that he had, he tried to use. But ultimately, it was Oba hitting that powerbomb. And he only had to do it the one time. He didn't have to hit his finish 6 times. He hit his finish 1 time. And he pinned Brock Lesnar. It's so interesting, that you look at tonight and you look at Roman Reigns winning. But you look at what's under him as the champion. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are the 2 men who stand atop the WWE as champions. But you look at the amount of torch passing that happened tonight, the amount of generational growth that happened tonight. And Obafemi is not the least of it. Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar, pinning him clean after the finish, I mean, immediately starts this conversation. As much as you're sitting there going, who's going to stop this version of Roman Reigns? I can't sit there and tell you, well, nobody. I'm sitting there going, nobody can beat Roman Reigns. Nobody can beat Gunther. And I can tell you today, nobody can beat Obafemi.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And you take a look at yesterday and you think about Jacob Fatu. You think about Braun Breaker. You think about Seth Rollins.
Who's beating those guys? Nobody. And those are the collisions that I want to see. But I think that it really shocked everybody. I did not hear from anybody who predicted it, anybody on the internet, any podcast, nothing, thinking that what happened next could happen.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's just sitting in the ring. I was like, what's he about to do here?
As Brock Lesnar, I thought he was kind of going to get up. He's laying out for a while, letting everybody know how much Obafemi had physically affected him. But Brock Lesnar sat up, and as soon as he started taking his boots off,
he takes one glove off first.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Then he goes to take the other one off. Oh, no.
It's done. And there have been rumors about Brock retiring at some point in the age and whatever it is. And Brock had even brought it up in interviews. He's got a little left, but not too much longer. Brock Lesnar left his boots and his gloves in the ring.
A very emotional Paul Heyman by his side.
Gave Paul Heyman just this massive hug. And it's really interesting with wrestling fans like us that we just go through this thing where Brock Lesnar is the beast, where Brock Lesnar is a villain, where Brock Lesnar is indestructible, where we hate Brock Lesnar. We hate what he did to John Cena. We hate that he did the boo, Brock Lesnar's here. And then the minute those gloves and the boots come off, and he goes, that's it. It almost felt like collectively, everybody, at least in the stadium, and I think at home too, had the ability to instantly zoom out and take a look at his entire career.
All the memories are flashing through your head.
And realize, oh, this is what we're looking at. We're now not looking at today. We're looking at the body of work. And the fans were chanting, thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock. And Brock Lesnar, any emotion from Brock Lesnar feels foreign.
Yes.
But Brock Lesnar looking out at that audience, almost in a stunned, I don't know if glee is too strong of a word, but like this smile was on his face. Like, you guys do get it. You guys do understand what
nostalgic.
I've been doing. Like, you guys do understand, because, I mean, Brock Lesnar, there's very few people left who really perform this craft at a certain level where they don't need the pats on the back, the appreciation. They don't need to stop you and say, no, I know you're booing me on TV, but what I'm really doing is good, so you think I'm really good, right? There's not a lot of people, and the internet has done that to people in every sort of field, but there's not a lot of people that can do it without the instant gratification because they're a bad guy, and so they're going to get booed. And Brock Lesnar is one of those final few that can sit there and allow the world to think that he's horrible at this, that he's the worst, knowing what he's actually doing. And it was almost like I felt like, and maybe I'm putting my own emotions on this, I'm projecting, but it was almost like he had this moment where he was like, "Oh, you guys do get it. You guys did get it. We were just in the moment you didn't, but or you chose not to because you were in the moment. But when you back up and look at it, you go, oh, you guys do realize what this body of work has been going back to 2002 and the next big thing and proving himself and winning that title right away. And then 2 years in, whatever it was, leaving, going away, 3 years maybe, going away at this point where it was like this whole investment had been made in him. And he's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm over it. And like, as fans, talk about, being disappointed that your guy's not on TV anymore, except you had to respect it. Because what does he do? He goes away, and after already being an NCAA champion and a WWE champion becomes a UFC champion. And I will never forget the night after WrestleMania 28 when John Cena had lost to The Rock. And it was like, well, what's John Cena going to do now? He just lost to The Rock. This was supposed to be the biggest thing ever, and he lost. And Brock's music plays. And it was like, this was the one thing that was never going to happen. Brock was never coming back to professional wrestling. That was it. And Brock coming back the night after, here we are at WrestleMania 42, the night after WrestleMania 28, and starting this whole new wave and telling all these stories that took us all the way to beating the Undertaker's streak, and then being Cowboy Brock and being such a part of Roman's.
Yeah, when he came back in this very building at SummerSlam, and it was Cowboy Brock.
Rise to the top. Was that here
Yes.
when he tilted the?
That was in Nashville.
That was the year before when he returned after Roman Reigns
SummerSlam.
beat John Cena.
Yes.
Yeah, and with all the returns and everything happening, and every time
And
we were
another
disappointed.
SummerSlam return this past year.
Yes, when we didn't see that one coming, over and over and over again. And I think that what fans recognized was Brock's ability to evoke emotion, whether positive or negative. He made us, going back to the Punk and Roman thing, he has made us feel in the ring.
And as Brock, he puts his boots there, he leaves his gloves in the center of the ring. I think everybody had this feeling of, if this is really it, what a way to go out.
I think everybody had this feeling of the same thing we talked about before. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm ready for him to go just yet. I knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was coming tonight.
I didn't think it was coming tonight.
And we've experienced that a lot, And look, Brock hasn't said anything. And to my knowledge, Paul Heyman hasn't said anything about it. Those words haven't come out of anybody's mouth. We're just using the cues that we got, the visuals that we got at WrestleMania. But, I mean, what a wild, wild thing. And by the way, for Obafemi, the idea that not only did you beat Brock Lesnar, but in beating Brock Lesnar, you sent a message that let Brock know, I'm done. I mean, that is, even Brock in 02, I don't know if he could do that. That is making a statement. That is going to go from, yes, I can step face to face with Brock Lesnar, to yes, I can get physical with Brock Lesnar, to yes, I can throw desk chairs with Brock Lesnar, to yes, I can cut a promo with Paul Heyman and Triple H on either side of me, to yes, I can go to WrestleMania and make the whole world believe in me and beat Brock Lesnar, to the point where Brock Lesnar then sits up and goes, well, that's it. That's a wrap. It's an amazing, amazing thing to see that go full circle. And it's compelling because you want to hear what Brock and Paul Heyman say about this, but also how this builds Obafemi going forward.
That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah.
Obafemi and his rise.
Well, remember when we talked to him at Saturday Night's Main Event in December?
Of course.
And he was like, I'm ready to clear out all these 40-plus-year-olds.
Everyone.
He said it.
Yes.
He said, I'm ready for these to be my moments now. And he's taking them.
It wasn't I'm happy to be here.
No, he didn't say that at all.
No.
He goes, I understand it. I appreciate it. But, I'm here to take. It's my time. And that's what, I think to be successful on a certain level, that's where you have to be. But, just a huge moment.
Yeah, if Brock's really done, that's a longer conversation.
Crazy,
as well.
right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Speaking of next generation coming in, Trick Williams was able to win the United States Championship from Sami Zayn with crowd support, And by the way, when I saw Trick Williams, winning the title and everything going on around it and Lil Yachty there, it was all so random. Part of me was like, what is this, a video game? What am I even watching here? Is this real life or is this a video game? And then I was like, that's so weird because this episode of WWE Now PLE Recap is actually brought to you by WWE 2K26, which I had forgotten at the time. But we talk every week about the drama, the spectacle, the rivalries. But in 2K26, the show never stops because you become the ultimate decision maker, a true superstar showman. Run the world's greatest show with the largest roster in franchise history, featuring over 400 playable WWE superstars and legends from the rebellious Attitude Era to today's undeniable champions. Bring the chaos to the squared circle with new match types like I Quit, Inferno, and 3 Stages of Hell. Plus, the WWE Draft finally arrives in universe mode, putting you in control of every destiny and outcome. And speaking of control and new superstars, Ringside Pass Premium Season 2, that just dropped. You can unleash chaos, charisma, and championship pedigree by instantly unlocking, guess who? Here comes the Axe, and here comes the Smasher. And they're bringing Crush. The Demolition, Walking Disaster, comes to 2K26 alongside former Divas and 24/7 champion Kelly Kelly. Plus, unlock the ability to earn 60 additional rewards through gameplay, including Kaz parts, move sets, My Faction content, world taunts, and more. Don't miss out. In celebration of WrestleMania 42, WWE 2K26 is now on sale until April 22nd on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, and Nintendo Switch 2, digital only. Get your copy today. And Megan, I know you were excited about what Trick did.
Yes, I was.
At WrestleMania, especially with Lil Yachty, a.k.a. Boat, by his side. Well, guess what? Immediately after that match, we had the opportunity to speak to the new United States champion and his wingman, I guess it is, Lil Yachty, here on WWE Now. Trick, you know, people talk, and they talked about this build to WrestleMania, and they've been talking about you on the main roster, and people talk about potential, and people talk about, I can't believe how quickly he's getting it, and how quickly the crowd is reacting, and how quickly he portrays a superstar, but it's a lot different when the moment happens.
Right.
To walk out of WrestleMania, a champion in the WWE, what does that feel like right now?
It feels good, man. Became real fast when Sammy kicked me in the mouth. So all the 50,000 fans, all the noise, all the lights and everything went out the window. It's time to get some get back.
That's what it was.
Heck yeah, man.
It was a strike.
It was a strike, man. He got tired of all the gingerbread jokes. You know, he got tired of all the harassing I did over the past 3-4 months, and I understand that. But he brought his A game, I brought mine, and this is where we are.
What is that thing that clicks in? Because there are people that come up from NXT, and maybe it takes them a couple months to kind of get acclimated to the main roster, to get acclimated to what's going on, what it takes to make it, what it takes to connect with the audience. It's not just winning matches, it's connecting with the audience. For you, it really felt like it happened
Well, you got
instantly.
the swag. You got the look, you got the swag, you got the walk, you got the talk. You can't duplicate it, you know what I'm saying? It can't be emulated, you know what I'm saying? This is human masterpiece right here, you know what I'm saying?
Human masterpiece.
So it shows on camera, you know? It's flawless right here.
That's why they call me the anointed one.
There you go.
Right.
You understand? Because you look, a lot of these things you can't plan, you can't take credit for. You know what I mean? You don't know how the people are going to respond to you for real.
Hello.
And there's a lot of people who put in the work, who've been grinding a lot longer than I have in this field. But I'm the anointed one because, look, this is what God wanted. I'm just playing my part, and I'm grateful for it every single day. I wake up every day, I'm grateful. I kiss Lash on the cheek, and I go on about my day.
Well, Trick, you always had that thing that everybody was drawn to ever since the early days in NXT when it was Trick and Mello. And then you went off on your own in NXT, but you could become NXT champion. And then I think when a lot of people thought maybe it's time for Trick Williams to come up to the main roster, you went and did some Trick and A and spent a year in TNA, in NXT, working on things. And things seemed a little bit different. But when you got called up to the main roster, instantly, there was that connection with the audience. Instantly, things clicked. What did that extra year in TNA mean to you, and how did it help you get to where you're at right now?
It was everything. It was very necessary. I'm grateful for it because that year in TNA, Trick and A, you know, I found my voice back. And I say this, and it's not a bad thing, but TNA is the wild, wild west. You know what I mean? Where you got to go out there and sink or swim. It's on you. Ain't about no creative. Ain't about somebody told you to do this and that. At NXT, we're very protected. Shawn Michaels is right there in the middle of it, making sure we have a good program. At TNA, if you can't do it, it won't be done. So that allowed me to get the creative freedom to find my voice and find what worked. So that whole extra year, even though I didn't like it, you know what I mean, my agent was right there saying, keep your head. You know what I mean? Don't crash out, even though that's what you're doing on TV. But it was very necessary, and I'm thankful for it.
I mean, I also think not only did you get the opportunity to work in front of different audiences and be a world champion for a different audience, but you got to do different things. You were beloved as an NXT champion. You were hated as a villain in TNA, and I feel like that's something that you can't take for granted. Being able to, I mean, you talk about being a multi-tool player. You have to do it all before you can be good at all of it.
For sure. And let's define this word villain.
Right.
Because, I mean, matter of fact, let's define the word hated. I was a villain, but I wasn't hated. You know what I mean? People love bad Trick Williams over there at Trick and Act. You know what I mean? And that's what me and Yachty been doing lately. Look,
Hey, man.
we ain't making no friends in the back room. You know what I mean?
We got each other.
We got each other, man. You know what I mean? We got our own private suites. We got barbers coming to the room.
Hello.
We iced out over here. You know what I mean? We ain't the favorite guys in the locker room, but the people can feel what's real.
Yachty, I want to talk to you because there's, of course, this year at WrestleMania, maybe more than ever, there's a lot of fan opinions about celebrity involvement and whether celebrities belong in certain positions.
A lot of negative connotations.
A lot of negative.
Right.
However, as somebody who has myself watched wrestling for decades, you take to this role of hype man.
Yes, sir.
As promoter,
Yes, sir.
as mouthpiece, not to take over for Trick, but just
Trick's
to
little brother.
elevate.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think it gets enough credit that when you're out there with Trick, and I'm not just saying this because you're in the room, I don't see Lil Yachty, the musician, that's here to do, promote an album and he's alongside Trick. I see an old school wrestling manager, hype man. Is that something that and even more importantly, not somebody pretending to be that?
Yeah, man, I'm so glad to hear you say that. He know how I feel about that, because me and him and I a long time. That's all I expressed to him and stressed to him how important it is not to come off like a rapper looking for promo. You know what I'm saying? To look like I'm here in support of my brother. I even express and stress to the creatives that this ain't my moment. This is his moment. This ain't about me, and that's the goal. The goal is to widen and brighten the light on my brother Trick.
Question, did y'all hear the diss track?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody heard the diss track. We went viral. Did you hear the diss track?
The
And
Gingerbread
that's the
Man?
beautiful
Yeah.
thing when there's a good collab, you know what I mean? He comes into our world, you know what I mean? I hop into his world, and we can have beautiful entertainment through the process, and now we champions, and we look good while we do
And
it.
it's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning.
All right, I got to ask about that train in the entrance, because we see Yachty, we see Trick come out, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, that thing keeps going.
2 miles of fur
That's right.
behind Trick and Yachty.
200-pound sled.
That's fly.
Is that what that
that's
was?
real
200
fly.
pounds.
That's real flyness.
You know what I mean?
You can't duplicate.
That's carrying Sami Zayn on my back, and that's exactly what I did during that match. I
Jeez.
carried him twice.
I mean, listen, I've told you privately that it takes a certain kind of person to go on local morning news wearing a fur vest and no shirt and still come across as charming. I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a lot of people who could have a 200-pound white fur train behind them at their first WrestleMania and be in the ring with somebody who has been beloved as a wrestler for years.
Yes.
And somehow find themselves in a position where the audience, make no mistake, is cheering for you and booing Sami Zayn. Why do you think? I mean, because these are things that if anybody else did it, it would be described as obnoxious. What is it about you doing it that makes the audience go, I support it?
It's authentic. It's not a fable. It's not fabricated. I wouldn't align myself with something if it wasn't pure greatness. You know what I'm saying? True masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? Human art form. That's Trick Willie.
That's what God wanted, man. I can't take credit for it because all I can be is me. I can't be you. I can't be Meg. You know what I mean? I wear lemon pepper steppers. I can't wear stilettos. You know what I mean? Like, all I can be is myself. You know what I mean? And I'm just confident enough to be myself, whatever that may look like. I didn't ask to be accepted. You know what I mean? I just wanted the opportunity to be myself. My whole life, I had a helmet on. Played football for 20 years. Had to cover my face, this beautiful face. Couldn't nobody see it. Now I get to take it off. You think I ain't gonna flex? Come on now.
Lord, talk to him. Let's talk about it.
When you spend your life, I mean, I'm sure for a period of time you thought that's who you were. Now you are a wrestler. You're not a football player or any other kind of athlete who wrestles. You are a wrestler.
That's
which is
right.
maybe not something that you knew
I didn't know it.
a few years back. What is it like, and when do you come to that realization that, oh, this is who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing?
I'm gonna tell you something I ain't never tell nobody before. The first password I ever had on my yahoo.aol.com way back in the day, whatever it was Superstar. Superstar, I lie to you not. I don't know how I knew it. Like, it was sitting right there in front of my face. And I used to have dreams and fantasies. I was gonna be playing in the Super Bowl and performing at halftime. What we doing now?
Hey, I swear, I BS you now, I had the same dreams that I would hear the crowd roaring and those red carpet, those red, they would pull back the curtains and it was my time to shine.
I mean, I didn't know it. You know what I mean? My pops played football, and I love football. You know what I mean? I was good at it, played 20 years. But, once I just got on the right track and became a superstar, it was sitting right in front of my face, man. Like, I don't know how I missed it. I loved it. I said my first cuss word to open a can of whoop. I was 3 years old. This is where I'm meant to be, man, and I love it.
It's crazy because a lot of times when people don't come from the world of wrestling, there may be a little bit of a transition, maybe some imposter syndrome when they get in the ring, or then when they become a WWE superstar, or when they get the opportunity at NXT, or when they get the WrestleMania moment. But for you, it seems like that wasn't a thing. Am I wrong?
Man, I worked far too hard to let somebody tell me I don't belong. I mean, I had way too much I had to go through, way too much ups and downs for somebody to tell me that you don't deserve this. Because when it's everybody else's turn, when they was getting drafted, when everybody else was getting money, I clapped it up for everybody else. So now that I'm finally getting my moment, I'm thankful, I'm sharing love, I'm bringing my boys with me, and that's all that's gonna be. If you ain't on the Trick Willie train, you see I got 100 yards of it, so you better hop on as soon as you can.
It's 200 pounds, too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Trick, do you mind if we do a new segment sponsored by Minute Maid called The Finishing Move?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me ask you this, Trick Williams, okay? We've seen some incredible finishers, all in the ring throughout this weekend, yours included. But real life has its own hurdles. If you could hit your finishing move on one thing in real life, not a person, because that was Sami Zayn, you took care of it, but a situation, what situation would you hit that finisher on?
Bad hygiene.
Really?
I can't stand people who don't wash their hands, don't brush their teeth, and smiling in everybody's face and shaking every hand in the back. I just want hygiene to be a worldwide thing where everybody understands, wash your hands, please. I mean, it's a courtesy. Trick shot if you don't. Let's talk about it.
That's a great answer. Shout out to Minute Maid for bringing that energy, because sometimes all you need is something bold, refreshing, and unapologetically
Bold
you
and refreshing. Hygiene. Thank you.
to get through the day. That's right. Bring the juice.
Bring the
Just make
juice.
sure the juice is clean.
I mean, bring the dial soap.
That's right. That's right.
And the Listerine.
Yeah, did you ever, did you talk to Booker T at all when you,
No, I have
aligned?
not.
I was just so interested because when Trick started doing his thing in NXT and Booker T was singing along to your music, and I was
he
just
adopted the ad lib.
yes, I was thinking of you. With
He put
the
his own
ad-lib.
twist on it.
That's right.
He's
That's
in a
right.
whole different vocal range than Booker T.
Yeah.
See, Booker T got the rasp. Oh yeah, man.
My voice a little high. Get a little high when I'm excited. My voice get a little high.
I feel like you embrace it, though. I
Yeah,
feel like
I
you're
mean,
going
it is what
all
it
the
is.
way
It is
in.
what it is. What it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a
And
little
I honestly
squeaky.
think that the pitch, because people don't see it coming.
Yeah.
They don't expect it.
I'm
and
too
it's that-
excited.
Yeah.
I get up there. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is.
It should be embarrassing.
That's how excited I am.
So when you said we're only getting started,
Yeah.
is this more you feel like than a WrestleMania appearance? You think Yachty you'll be?
Oh man, I'm putting rap going secondary.
Oh shoot.
This is where we at.
It's Trick Yachty game.
Oh man, to the end. To the end, baby. To the end.
You're having too much fun to
Oh, I
stop.
love it. I love it.
I can see it all over you.
I love it.
Well, I mean, a WrestleMania moment made tonight. Trick Williams.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Yachty as well, of course.
Yes.
But Trick,
Yeah.
the United States champion. And look, I will bet this will be the last time you do an interview with Sami Zayn's nameplates.
Man,
On that
speaking of
United
Sami
States
Zayn,
champion.
he was a United States champion for so long. Isn't he from Montreal? I'm gonna let that be.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Let's talk about it.
Thank you, Trick, and congratulations.
Thank y'all having me.
So close you can almost taste it.
What? You just gonna walk away? Time to bring the juice.
Never leave a fit behind. Rip it, and bring the juice.
That flavor's just out of reach. Drop the Legos and bring the juice. Yee.
So congratulations to Trick Williams and Lil Yachty.
Yes.
You know, so much going on with WrestleMania, so much to celebrate. I love the merch of it all. I know that you do too. I was going through and looking at all the T-shirts. I love because now especially because of the moment that it represents, my all over print CM Punk Roman Reigns T-shirt, because I know how the match ends.
Okay.
So I can wear it very, very happily.
Yeah, very
because
proud.
this is the match where my tribal chief came home.
Well,
That's
this
how
was
I refer to
my
it.
personal favorite, WrestleMania Vegas. You got the skeleton with the Elvis.
The flying Elvis
Flying
skeleton?
Elvis.
Yeah.
Over Vegas. And this is a weekend I want to remember. I want to remember being in Vegas with all of you. I want to remember experiencing history. And you can get all these
Well,
these
I'm glad
shirts.
you pointed out that was a flying Elvis skeleton, because I actually thought they did a Mega Morant T-shirt, but I guess that isn't. But I will say, as far as the winners go, there's a brand new Rhea Ripley winners T-shirt. She is your WWE Women's Champion. You can celebrate that victory with the all-new winners tee that's available now at WWE Shop and Fanatics. And I don't know if you heard, but in the main event of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns was crowned your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and you can celebrate his victory with an all-new Winners T-shirt. It's available now at WWE Shop and Fanatics, the 11th main event for Roman Reigns. Very, very successful. But, we mentioned Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and you and I were wrong about this.
Not
we had a
me.
lot of conversations heading into WrestleMania 42, and we had a lot of conversations about Rhea Ripley, and we both said we needed Rhea to be back on top of the women's division, but we also said we thought it was time for Rhea to forget about friendships, because
like
we
where you're
saw
going.
her friendship with Io Sky and how it got her in some trouble on the road to WrestleMania. But in fact, tonight, it was that friendship with Io Sky that led Rhea Ripley to winning the WWE Women's Championship.
Yeah, it
I almost
saved
said
her,
Women's
didn't it?
World Championship, because she's
No.
been that before too.
Yes, she has, but the Women's World Championship is firmly planted on the troublesome waist of Liv Morgan. Yeah, you're 100% right. And I wouldn't even necessarily say it helped lead her. I think it saved her.
Yes.
Because otherwise Rhea would be looking at Mi Chin, would be looking at B-Fab, and then also be looking. Jade Cargill did a hell of a job of structuring an army to defend that WWE Women's Championship alongside her.
And she structured this army by them saying, hey, if we can't beat them, let's join them.
Right. And
I mean, these were bitter enemies
Right.
of Jade Cargill's.
I wonder now that Jade Cargill is not the champion if Mi Chin and B-Fab have that same level of loyalty. Very interesting. Very
It is
interesting to think
interesting.
about. But look, that's their problem, because Rhea Ripley's back on top of the division. And that's another conversation that we had. You're right. We were both wrong about Rhea Ripley needing to shift her focus. And also, you heard the ovation, right? Because let's not pretend it wasn't happening. A lot of people were out there. One of the conversations going into WrestleMania was, how does Io Sky not have a WrestleMania match?
She's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. She's not on the card.
The answer is she is on the card, and she's an impactful part of one of the most important matches at WrestleMania, an important part of the WWE Women's Championship match, helping Rhea Ripley to make sure that she can have a fair one-on-one match with Jade Cargill.
And you call me a hater all the time.
Well, you
because
are.
for months and months and months, I always pointed out, well, they're a tag team, but Rhea Ripley's never pinned Io Sky. It's so crazy that she's never pinned Io Sky.
You said they shouldn't be friends.
Well,
You said that literally like one of the most endearing, beloved, fan-favored friendships in the entire company. You said they shouldn't be friends.
well, if you go back to last year on the road to WrestleMania, Io took Rhea's title.
You're friends with other runners.
Yeah, they don't beat me in races.
You're better than them.
That's right.
You can't
Come
be.
on.
I was gonna ask, can you be friends with somebody who's better than you at running? But the answer should be, I don't know. I haven't met anyone.
No, haven't met anyone who's better than me at that. I don't know if you know, but I'm going to the Olympic trials. But anyways, back to Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. When
took
I
the
saw
garbage
them
out.
embracing in the ring today, after Rhea is saved by Io and she becomes the WWE Women's Champion, I'm like, you know what? I'm over this not pin thing.
Wow.
I'm
that's
in
like
on the friendship.
This is like the
I'm
end
in.
of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
I'm in on it, 100% in.
Even the Grinch, even Megan Morant, carved the roast beast. Amazing.
I just,
Amazing.
a
'Cause
lot
that's what
of
happened.
people.
That's what happened. Megan Morant was on top of that mountain above Whoville, and she put her hand, that Grinchy hand, to her Grinchy ear, hoping to hear the sounds of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky just beating each other from pillar to post. But that's not what she heard. It was joy. It was laughter. It was friendship. She couldn't understand.
A lot of people were skeptical of Alexa and Charlotte, and I was for a while, but they won me over.
Shocker. Shocker that you were for a while as well.
I was skeptical of Rhea and Io when everybody just accepted it.
Yeah, I know, and you were wrong.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was wrong.
Because you were kind of just saying that like it was a highlight, like for the record. I was skeptical of that friendship. I'm glad that you admit it.
I do. I mean, I have to, right? It is crazy though that when you have Rhea Ripley as dominant as she is,
No, you're right.
as big of a star as she is.
But also, right, I'm sitting there going, okay, Rhea Ripley's the WWE Women's Champion.
Remember who the last person to pin Rhea Ripley was?
Who was it?
Lash Legend.
Okay, that's true. That's true in the tag match.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's gold in that household now, and that gold is contagious. Lash Legend, unfortunately, no longer part of one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Lash Legend going after Rhea Ripley is very compelling to me. I guess, I mean, more answers that we're going to get on Monday Night Raw. But I guess, historically speaking, I don't know I guess the precedent would be that Rhea Ripley is now headed over to SmackDown.
I guess that.
To defend that title, unless there's some kind of swap going on. But Liv Morgan's a Raw superstar, so I would imagine that we'll see Rhea, and maybe that does mean a whole new set of opponents for Rhea Ripley,
Which is
and maybe
very
that does mean
exciting.
a Lash Legend. But don't you think, Megan, in that cold, cold heart of yours, that at some point Io Sky's gonna say, "I don't have a title, and I didn't have a WrestleMania match. Shouldn't I get a chance at Rhea Ripley's WWE Championship?" I mean, the last person who was friends with a champion and didn't get a shot at that title was Randy Orton. And we all saw how that turned out. Do you think that at some point Io Sky will go, Rhea can't beat me. Why wouldn't I get a
has.
shot at that title? Do you think that could happen?
Of course.
What a hater.
What? What do you mean, what a hater?
No, you're right. No,
of course it could.
I mean, no, I think because I started drifting more over to your side of things when I was like, if I'm Io, I'm going like, yeah, I support you, congratulations, but also like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And I just think it's something that's now in the air, right? It's different from being a tag team. It's different from being tag team champions. The fact is that friendships are no friendships. Rhea Ripley is on top of the women's division again, which is something that both of us wanted.
Yes.
That's where I think she should be. But she's on top of the women's division again, and that means that whether they're friends with Rhea or foes with Rhea, Rhea is going to have to defend that spot and defend it all the time.
Friendships and championships are a very difficult balancing act.
They don't mix.
Look at Cody.
Look at Cody, who's now apparently not medically cleared because Randy Orton kicked him so hard in the head.
He won WrestleMania 40. He had all kinds of friends around him.
And now, well,
42?
But you know what he does have? He doesn't have medical clearance. He doesn't have friends.
But he's got a championship.
He's got his belt. You know what I mean? And maybe that's better. This is the business that we're in. I'll tell you who was great at WrestleMania. John Cena was a hell of a host.
Oh, yeah.
Great host from John Cena. Got a lot of memorable moments opening both nights. Of course, last night, the Bianca Belair moment that we discussed. But tonight, Miz coming out and demanding a WrestleMania moment alongside Kit Wilson in what I believe was a fresh kit fit made specifically for WrestleMania.
It looked beautiful.
He looked great. He looked like $1 million always. But Miz demanded a WrestleMania moment. And part of that is John Cena's fault. Because, very early in the Miz's career, he got one of the biggest WrestleMania moments that anybody could ever have. He main evented WrestleMania with John Cena and beat him. So now Miz has this entitlement where he feels like he should always have WrestleMania moments. That's one of the downfalls of early success. But there was another superstar that said, I would also like a WrestleMania moment.
And everybody wanted this superstar to have a WrestleMania moment.
In a very serious way, because the Danhausen stuff was great. I love the Littlehousens. I didn't know we were going to get Littlehousens like that. I didn't know and by the way, the command that Danhausen had on the Littlehousens, dogpile him. I didn't know he had that, but he does have some kind of mystic powers, this Danhausen.
You think about Danhausen coming out of that crate at the Elimination Chamber and, the thunderous applause from all of Chicago.
That's not what happened.
At the United Center.
That's not what happened.
Not
That's
at
what Danhausen
all
said happened.
what happened. But flashing forward a few months down the road to having this moment tonight at WrestleMania, I think you, Sam Roberts, are one of the only people on planet Earth who is not surprised by this whatsoever.
No.
But all it took was what?
I feel like Nate Diaz. I'm not surprised. Expletive.
It only took a couple weeks and everybody immediately wants the blimp, wants more Danhausen,
Was that WrestleMania?
wants all the Littlehousens, more Littlehousens.
And you're right. I know, and anybody watching probably felt the same way that I did. But like I'm not surprised by this at all with Danhausen. I'm not, and I've had multiple conversations with people there are people who I talk to that do not regularly watch WWE, that have not watched WWE in a while. They're like, I don't know, I'm into this Danhausen.
Of course.
It's crazy on such a mainstream level. It's so people would look at this Danhausen because he was Danhausen outside of WWE. He was Danhausen everywhere. He was Danhausen by himself. He lives as Danhausen. Sometimes he puts on human makeup like Jack Napier in Batman. He was the Joker. He would put flesh-colored makeup on, so people wouldn't realize he was the Joker, but his face was the Joker face. Danhausen has put flesh-colored makeup on in the past to try to blend in, but he's Danhausen, and he's always been Danhausen. And I thought always, it's literally tailor-made for WWE. It's the most entertaining thing in wrestling, and the most entertaining thing in wrestling, those are two of the words in WWE, wrestling and entertainment. So I go, yeah, of course. And so to see him, and I knew in Chicago that they didn't get it.
No, people didn't
And
get
that's
it.
okay. That's okay because it's weird.
A week later, everybody got it.
A day later, everybody got it. The minute Danhausen took that wet from the toilet list and handed it.
WWE Hall of Fame. He needs to be on a truck.
Yes.
He needs
a
blimp. Money, I think, was on there as well.
Human monies.
Human monies.
Yeah, that's more what he's into.
Yes.
Yeah. But really, to see Danhausen at WrestleMania doing a 5-knuckle shuffle and John Cena holding his hand in the air was the most surreal. It's one of these, could you imagine if, The Miz wants a WrestleMania moment, and then imagine if Danhausen was in WWE, and then Danhausen comes out, and he's got all these little Danhausens, and they all beat up The Miz, and then John Cena's there, and then Danhausen does John Cena's moves, and then The Miz goes out of the ring, and then John Cena loves Danhausen and puts his hand up. That'd be so cool if WWE just did that.
And then Danhausen makes himself disappear.
Except he doesn't really disappear because he forgets and the smoke goes away and then he remembers he has to just run out of the ring real quick.
And then the little
why
people-
don't they do that?
The little people carry Miz up the ramp
Yeah,
and drop
yeah.
him.
Yeah. Why don't they just do that? And you're like, they would never do that. And then they did it. And you're like,
And it was awesome.
it was the greatest. John Cena genuinely just like chuckling into the mic and going, oh,
Retirement's
great.
awesome.
He said that, but the first thing he said, that was great. Because it's like what we were all thinking. That's why we watch wrestling. That was great. In what other form of entertainment, art form, in my opinion, could that television segment happen in front of 50,000 people and
Nowhere.
have 50,000 people going, thank God we bought a ticket?
Nowhere. And that's
Nowhere
why wrestling's
else.
the best.
Nowhere else. They go, what is this? They go, this is why we bought this ticket. It's amazing. And only Danhausen, by the way. You couldn't repeat that with a different... Only Danhausen
That's the only one.
could pull that off. Speaking of pulling things off, of course, the Demon was pulled off.
Oh,
the
I was
Demon.
waiting for you to get to this match.
Finn Balor returned. Look, I walked... Dominic had an incredible WrestleMania. And by the
Great
way,
entrance. Great entrance.
this year?
Yeah, I mean, all of
Absolutely
them.
incredible.
All of his WrestleMania entrances have been
He's such a
top notch.
charismatic guy. He's incredible. This Dominic Mysterio. Another incredible WrestleMania entrance, incredible WrestleMania moment. He was fighting the Demon. You know, I'm a realistic person. I understood what was in front of me. And by the way, shout out to all the people I met at WWE World who were coming up and saying, Sam, thank you for supporting Dominic Mysterio. I swear
Were
to God.
people saying that?
Yes.
A lot of people?
Yes, a lot of people.
Well, it's funny because I was at WWE World today, and there was a lot of people saying
you
to
buy
me,
a ticket?
"Thank you." No, I was actually doing a meet and greet,
Oh, thanks for the chuckle.
and there's a long line, long line.
Oh, really?
Yep, big line, big line. They had to cut the line off.
They did?
They did, yeah. But there was a lot of people who thanked me for keeping you in check, and for standing up for Becky Lynch. So
Okay, well, guess what? She didn't even wrestle tonight, and we're not talking about Becky Lynch. I don't even
just
know why you
people
would
were
bring it up.
thanking me for keeping you in check.
Well, yeah, I don't think you do a good job at that. But I love Dominic. I love the moment that he had in the entrance. I thought it was great. But the reality is that it's the Demon.
Yeah, and the Demon reminded everybody, in case they forgot, we haven't seen the Demon in 3 years, but we haven't seen this version of the Demon in even longer.
I would agree with that. I would agree. It felt like, yeah, I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that music again and seeing the Demon come up and throw those arms in the air and everybody throw their arms in the air
And
at the same time.
streamers.
Streamers flying all over the place, that mask thing, the war staff thing that the Demon had.
And
And
how
then,
about when Dominic goes up to hit the frog splash
Mm-hmm.
and you think, oh, this is a combination that won him the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 41. The Demon kicks out and won.
won? Because that's what the Demon does. And then it was a coup de grace through the table, all she wrote. And to answer your question from last night, yes, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the Judgment Day looks like. With Liv Morgan hitting the peak of success and Dominic Mysterio, unfortunately in this instance, not so much. Still the AAA Mega Champion, though. And AAA is a hot property right now. So let's not sit around and act like Dominic Mysterio doesn't have it going on. He's got it all going on. Speaking of Penta, the Intercontinental Championship, Penta walked into WrestleMania Intercontinental Champion, let them hoist that championship of his up to the top of Allegiant Stadium. And I mean, just the damnedest ladder match that I've seen in quite some time. 6-way Intercontinental title match. Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Penta, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, JD McDonough. I think it delivered on all fronts.
Rey Mysterio in a ladder match at WrestleMania 42.
And I mean,
Just let that sink in.
all over the ladder match, too.
Yeah.
Like, not a little bit in the ladder match. Like, ultra competitive in the ladder match.
And how about JD McDonough?
I mean, he puts it... He's incredible.
Does anybody take more brutality than
Nobody,
JD McDonough
nobody.
ever?
He'll just do whatever it takes. He's just go, okay, then I'll do more next time. I'll do more next time. It's incredible. But, like, at the end of that match, seeing Javon Evans hit Rusev with that, it was Rusev, right?
Yes.
With the OG cutter, going from the post to the ladder, landing the OG cutter, only for Penta to slide in, hit that Mexican Destroyer, which, by the way, he had already hit that Mexican Destroyer on the ladder earlier in the night, hits the Mexican Destroyer to climb up that ladder and reclaim the Intercontinental Championship. And I have to say, as much as Penta does not approve of my fandom of Dominic Mysterio,
No, he does not.
something that I was looking forward to is this idea that Penta won the title from Dominic not too long ago.
No.
The idea to me that if Penta won this match, then now we're really in a reign. We're in a Penta Intercontinental Championship reign. And that's something I'm excited to see. And seeing him live on ESPN, sitting up top the ladder, holding the Intercontinental title, showing the world, this is who our Intercontinental Champion is. I mean, look at what WWE looks like right now. Yeah, you got the Demon back. Roman Reigns is on top of the world. Rhea Ripley is on top of the world. Cody Rhodes on top of the world, and Liv Morgan is on top of the world. And right under everybody, you got Penta. You got, you got Gunther.
Trick Williams.
You have Trick Williams.
Seth Rollins is back. Braun Breaker is
Oba
back.
Femi. I mean, the people that had their moments and their victories over the last 2 days. This is one of those
Paige is
WrestleManias.
back.
Paige is back. That has reshaped what the WWE is.
Of course. And I think Penta is a great example of that. This was somebody that, when the Netflix era was ushered in, Penta immediately captured the imagination of fans around the world. Penta had this connection with everybody. We've all been invested in Penta. He wins the IC title, and now we're like, this is Penta's time for a reign.
Zero miedo. That's what he's got. I'll tell you what we got. We got a lot more WWE now to do. So we will, tomorrow morning, we'll have a live WWE Now on the WWE's. No? At some point? Yes? No? At some point? Well, whatever. Yes. Live WWE Now tomorrow on the WWE's YouTube channel from WWE World.
Yes.
So come out to WWE World if you're hearing this on time. Right? If you're one of the late, if you're listening to it right away, come out to WWE World. If not, you already missed it. But we'll have another WWE Now with a guest at WWE World. And then tomorrow night, late night, the Raw after WrestleMania. We're going to be there to get the first look at what WWE looks like post-WrestleMania 42. And Megan, you and I will be there to break it all down. I love this weekend.
It's the best.
I love being here in person for it.
And now it feels like we get to kick off a new season.
Witnessing it with you. That's right. We just had the season finale. The season premieres tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. Subscribe across all audio platforms. Comment and like on YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow for more WWE Now Recap.